All right, Chiefs fans, I know you're hyped up like I am, which means I'm getting some championship gear, AFC title gear. We got some deals for you. Chatsports.com/AFC Champs. Celebrate the AFC Championship with some sweet new swag. We got hoodies, t-shirts, hats, all kinds of stuff. AFC Champion, Kansas City Chiefs gear. Take advantage of this deal today. Chatsports.com/AFC Champs. We'll have the link in the description and in the comments. Go take advantage today.
The Super Bowl 54 matchup is set. It is the Kansas City Chiefs against the San Francisco 49ers on February 2nd, the greatest day in the NFL calendar. The Chiefs are opening as a 1.5-point favorite against the 49ers after the 49ers just coming off an impressive win over the Packers, and the Chiefs taking down the Tennessee Titans. Harrison, we're going to break down the entire game. A very quick little one thing to watch from you here as we take a look at the over-under and the favorite, which is KC.
Yeah, I mean, the early onset is that it's basically a pick'em game, right?
Yeah.
Two really evenly balanced teams. I think earlier in the year you would have said this is a Chiefs offense that's really good, but the defense isn't there. That's different now. This Chiefs defense has gotten a lot better. We know the 49ers, when that defense is fully healthy, probably the best in the league. So it'll be a battle of two really talented football teams. Should be an excellent Super Bowl.
You mentioned basically a pick-em game. That's not a huge surprise given that the Chiefs and Niners have played so well this year. It's kind of a matchup of intriguing strengths. The Chiefs have that dynamic passing attack. Niners have that great ground game and great defense. You see the money lines here. It's the 49ers plus 107, the Chiefs minus 128. Scoring defense-wise, technically speaking, the Chiefs actually have the better defense, but I think watching the games and remembering that the Niners had some injuries in the latter part of the year, San Francisco has the better defense.
Well, it's like I said, and that's not a slight to the Chiefs.
No,
the
not at all.
They've become a much more than adequate defense this season. The 49ers, therefore, when they're fully healthy, like I fully said, I think it's the best defense in football. I think that's been proven this year. Robert Saleh, in my opinion, should have gotten a head coaching job with what he's done with this group this season. And we've seen, once they've gotten fully healthy in the playoffs, shut down the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers was having fits. Don't let the stat line fool you. They got pressure on him all night long. Truly the best offense versus the best defense in this game.
All right, before we dive into our in-depth game preview, we want to hear from you guys. Predict the score of Super Bowl 54, the Chiefs and the 49ers. Harrison, what are you thinking in this one?
My way too early prediction, and guys, I'll have Super Bowl coverage the next 2 weeks, chatsports.com/Chiefs, so be subscribed to the channel. 31-27, Tom.
Okay.
Kansas City in an instant classic. I do like the over on BetDSI, so chatsports.com/bet is where you can do that. Give me the Chiefs, 31-27, and a close Super Bowl 54.
Let's talk about the Kansas City Chiefs then, Harrison. You, of course, are the host of the Chiefs Report here at Chat Sports. Why don't you break us down how they got there with a pair of wins over AFC South teams?
Well, I mean, kind of similar to last week against the Texans. This week against the Titans, come out a little flat, couple of drops early. Titans get out to a 17-7 lead. 28 unanswered to go up 35-17. Where have we seen that before? Oh, I don't know, in the divisional round against the Houston Texans when they went on a 51-7 run.
Which is bonkers.
Two adequate teams in Houston and Tennessee. I think most people would agree, though. Kansas City, when they're playing their best football, Houston and Tennessee just weren't going to match up. They talked a bunch of shit about Derrick Henry, especially Frank Clark. He backed it up.
They backed
Tom.
it up in the
The
end,
guy
yeah.
backed it up, held him to 69 yards. Obviously, the big comeback last week against the Texans, but two excellent second halves the last couple of weeks for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they are going to the Super Bowl, and they are playing very, very well right now.
Maybe a little dicey there for a little bit in both of those games, even against Tennessee for Kansas City, but they ended up being fine. Thanks in large part to the arm of Patrick Mahomes. It's kind of funny to me looking at both of these teams. The Niners haven't really needed Jimmy Garoppolo. He's made some plays for him, but the Chiefs have leaned so heavily on Mahomes this postseason.
And in Patrick Mahomes' career in 4 playoff games, 0 picks. I mean,
That's
the guy has played phenomenal, and that's not taking anything away from Jimmy G. But if you look kind of at this quarterback matchup, clearly, in my opinion, it favors Kansas City just with the way he's playing right now offensively. He carved up Houston last week, played really well against Tennessee today, and he's such a calming presence. No panic down 24-0 last week. No panic down 17-7. He's running the ball more in the postseason, being opportunistic,
He's been their
scrambling.
best runner.
He's been their best runner. And, Jimmy G, what did he throw it 8 times against the Packers. They didn't have to throw it. So
he had
Patrick,
no passes in the third quarter, which is insane to think about.
that's unreal.
So pick a quarterback for Super Bowl 54. Type M for Mahomes, G for Garoppolo. I am pro Garoppolo, Harrison. I can't make an argument, though, against Mahomes.
Oh, Jimmy G's been great, and he's the franchise quarterback in San Francisco for the foreseeable future. That contract was more than worth it. Patrick Mahomes, best quarterback in football. I mean, what this guy does, he's a complete player. I'm typing my M. I know we got a lot of 49ers fans, so type your G if you're a Garoppolo fan, but I am typing my M for Patrick Mahomes.
We'll come back to more offensive talk here, but I do want to talk about the defensive side of the ball, namely Chris Jones, who missed the divisional round game with that calf injury, came back in the AFC Championship. I thought he looked kind of limited, still recovering from it.
I haven't seen an official snap count yet. I was checking right before we filmed. I want to say it's in the 30s or so. He played a decent amount. Didn't have a huge impact. Did make a nice run stop on Henry in the second quarter where he got a little bit of penetration. But the good thing is, 2 weeks off. He got the extra week here. I would expect him maybe not being 100%, but in that 90% range for the Super Bowl.
You have that extra time off. That'll be a big deal for Jones, a pending free agent. It almost looked like they kind of used him more in high leverage situations. Like 1st and 10, he's come on off field. We don't need you out there. 3rd and 8, Chris Jones, get out there.
Well, and the Chiefs have a nice rotation. Mike Pinnell, a guy they found in the middle of the year, was great in this game against Tennessee. More of a run stopper. Chris Jones, more of a pass rushing defensive tackle. So they mixed and matched today. Obviously, the 49ers, similar to the Titans, are going to run the football a lot. So we'll see how they mix and match. But Chris Jones, he's back. We'll see how he progresses over the next couple of weeks. But it was good to see him back out there in the AFC title.
You know, the Chiefs will need him as a run stopper given how well the Niners have run the football this season.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll talk about him more in a minute. But Raheem Mostert, are you kidding me? The game he just had against the Packers, truly a historic performance. That is not an understatement. He's been terrific. Let's look at these offenses, Tom.
They've both been really good.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the 49ers at 30 points per game, Chiefs 28. Look at the playoffs. They've both been really good as well. And they do it in different ways, which is something you and I both like. You can carve a pumpkin in a lot of different ways, and these two offenses are able to do it in a variety of ways.
Big thing for me is going to be the turnovers in this game. Mahomes has kind of adopted hey, I'm going to be a gunslinger, but not the turnover-prone gunslinger mentality.
That's the thing about it.
Which is weird.
In year 2, from last year, his first year as a starter, year 2, he doesn't turn it over. 5 picks the whole season. None in the playoffs, so he's really kind of reeled in some of those YOLO throws, if you will. Jimmy G's good for a couple of throws a game that could go the other way, so that could be an interesting thing to watch out for in this matchup. All right, Chiefs fans, I know you're hyped up like I am, which means I'm getting some championship gear, AFC title gear. We got some deals for you. Chatsports.com/AFC Champs. Celebrate the AFC Championship with some sweet new swag. We got hoodies, T-shirts, hats, all kinds of stuff. AFC champion, Kansas City Chiefs gear. Take advantage of this deal today. Chatsports.com/AFC Champs. We'll have the link in the description and in the comments. Go take advantage today.
Moving on now to the San Francisco 49ers here. The Niners, look, the score isn't even indicative, Harrison, of how big of a blowout this was.
I mean, they've absolutely bulldozed Green Bay twice now. I mean, 37-8 a couple of weeks ago. Basically the same game this week. It was 37-7 with 10 minutes to go or whatever. Packers 34-7, I should say. Get a couple of late scores, Green Bay does, to make it respectable on the scoreboard, but this game was never close. Green Bay literally had no chance against the 49ers rushing attack.
In 2 games in the playoffs, Jimmy Garoppolo has thrown the ball under 30 times.
27 total.
And they haven't needed him to throw it anymore. Tevin Coleman, more on him in a second, was great against the Vikings and then got injured in this one. It's been the defense and the ground game for San Francisco. I am a big proponent of letting your team throw the football. It is okay to run it when you're averaging like 8 yards a carry. Run it all day.
This is the 49ers we saw the first half of the season when they were fully healthy. Run, 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 play defense. And be timely when you throw the football with Jimmy G. That's not taken away from Jimmy G, but he's much more effective when the run game is established. That's how they've built this football team, and that's how they were able to get to the Super Bowl after a couple of playoff wins.
Now, Tevin Coleman did leave the NFC Championship game with an injury. As of right now, there's not a whole lot of information out. The Niners declared him out fairly early after the injury with a shoulder injury. Looked like a wrist injury to me and you at first. Either way, an arm injury of some type. I don't think you see him in the Super Bowl. I think his year might be done. It did not look good.
When you get carted off the field with an arm injury.
That's not great.
That's bad. That's saying we don't even want you to walk. That's how dangly his arm, and it looked that way.
Yeah,
He
didn't look right.
He moved
it looked limp.
He moved it an inch, and he was grimacing with serious pain. It did look like a wrist. They're reporting it as a shoulder injury. The 49ers are. We'll see what the MRI/X-ray say, probably coming out tomorrow on Monday. But luckily, some guy named Raheem Mostert had the second or third best playoff performance in history for a running back?
Second most rushing yards in NFL playoff history, 220, 7.6 yards per carry. Kind of got brought down because it was late in the game.
Yeah, Packers are selling out at the end of the game.
Second to only Eric Dickerson's 248. 4 touchdowns in this game against the Packers. He absolutely balled out. The Chiefs, meanwhile, don't have the greatest run defense.
It's gotten a lot better.
It has been. So how many yards will Raheem Mostert have against the Kansas City Chiefs? Put your votes in the comments section. You have a fun over-under for us, Harrison?
I'm going to set it. I do want to hear the official word on Coleman, but assuming he is
he's
out, he will be the feature back. Breida will be mixed in, but make no mistake, Mostert's the guy. I'll say 105 yards is what I'll go with the opening over-under. I mean, look, Kansas City just held Derrick Henry to 69 yards. I know at the end of the game you got to throw the ball a lot, but it was less than 4 yards a carry. Pretty good work there. So I think early hundreds is where I will set it at right now.
We'll talk more about these defenses, but first, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Bet on Super Bowl 54 with all kinds of fun player props as well at chatsports.com/bet. That URL, chatsports.com/bet, takes you right into the BetDSI site. Use promo code NFL120 for a 120% deposit bonus. That means you put down $50, they're going to give you 60 for free. So go make some money on the big game on BetDSI. Let's talk defenses then. Actually, pretty similar numbers here. That rush yards, that could be a big red flag there for KC if they can't kind of continue what they've been doing as of late, which has been a better run defense.
Yeah, it's kind of been a tale of two seasons for the Chiefs defense as a whole. Second half of the season, top 5, top 10 defense across the board. Obviously, early in the year, they got hit in the mouth, especially in the run game. But once Steve Spagnuolo got this defense kind of in sync, they got healthier. Remember, there were some injuries earlier in the year with Frank Clark playing with a neck problem. Chris Jones missed some time. They've clearly improved. Adding Mike Pennell, I think, helped a lot. And Tyrann Mathieu, the second half of the year, had an all-pro type of campaign. He was excellent. He's been really good down the stretch.
Dirty Dan stepped up as well.
Yeah, I do think Dan Sorensen's been great. I mean, with Juan Thornhill out, he's been great in the playoffs. I do think this 49ers defense is better overall, but don't slight Kansas City. Like, this is a good defense playing well right now, but I would give the slight edge to San Francisco. Chiefs fans, we're going to have all kinds of videos up until now into the Super Bowl and beyond. Off-season coverage, draft rumors, draft targets, free agency rumors. Chiefs got some big ones, Tom. Chris Jones is a free agent. They're going to extend Mahomes probably.
All of the
Lots of off-season conversation around the Chiefs and Super Bowl coverage in the next couple of weeks. Got to subscribe. Chatsports.com/Chiefs is the link, but you're watching right now on the Chiefs channel. Just hit that big red button for Chiefs videos all year long.
All right, reminder, the Chiefs are a 1.5-point favorite against the San Francisco 49ers, over under at 50. These are the early odds, by the way, so I'm sure they're going to end up changing as things go along here. But the Chiefs are your betting favorite. That offense is so high-powered. It should be a fun match here. But historically here, Harrison, let's take a look back at the last 5 meetings, which edged Kansas City. Especially in 2006.
I mean, absolutely. And, of course, don't overthink this when you're looking at this. Two completely different teams. 49ers last year, injured team, were not ready to win. Chiefs won that game. 49ers won back in 14. You see the rest of the outcomes there. That's the thing about the NFL, though. It's such a year-to-year league in a lot of cases, unless you're the Patriots. And maybe the Chiefs now. This is the second straight year they've had a really good year. But, it's just so interesting how this happens, right? Chiefs last year, heartbroken, losing in the AFC title game. 49ers completely off the map, on nobody's radar. They come back this year. They get healthy. Jimmy G plays an entire season. That defense turns it around. It's really a tale of two great stories. The Chiefs getting a redemption and the 49ers just coming out of nowhere to make a Super Bowl run.
The Chiefs, meanwhile, it's been a long time since they've been back in the big game.
Literally 50 years.
Several of us told us, it's rigged for the NFL 100 year. They're going to have the first Super Bowl be a rematch of Packers-Chiefs, and we now know how that one turned out, of course. But just the third appearance for Kansas City. We'll see if they can get their second Super Bowl title of all time.
And keep this in mind, too. Andy Reid, What's he missing on his resume? It's a Super Bowl. That's the only thing he hasn't done as an NFL head coach, so certainly a big opportunity for him. And for Kyle Shanahan, he's looking to break through as well and get his first Super Bowl as an NFL head coach.
The historical side of it for the 49ers, they've had great success in Super Bowl history.
5-1 overall.
I believe it was that Super Bowl 23 matchup. The Bengals, before that, if I'm remembering correctly, had won 4 games. The Niners now join that club. 3 teams have gone from 4 wins to Super Bowl berth.
Pretty impressive.
2 teams before them, I do not believe, have won. But the Niners trying to avenge their most recent appearance, the Harbaugh Bowl game.
Yeah, that's when
Super Bowl 47.
the lights went out and the game completely changed. But ultimately, Baltimore hung on in that one. That was certainly a great game a few years ago. They looked to try and get back in their winning ways in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs.
So that is your Super Bowl 54 matchup. It is the Chiefs taking on the San Francisco 49ers in what hopefully is going to be a fantastic game. Don't forget to reply to the pinned comment and let us know who you got in this matchup.